Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about how an attacker can steal browser cookies using a cross-site scripting attack. Let's get started. The main goal that we have here is to have an attacker insert JavaScript code into a vulnerable server that is vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks, which steals user cookies, such that when anyone who accesses this server reaches or clicks or goes to the website that has this JavaScript, the cookies for that site that is stored on their browser gets sent to the attacker. So let us start by looking at a script that doesn't do anything malicious. It just displays an image on the page that it's included on. So you're familiar already with the script headers. This is what starts the script header saying that this is JavaScript, and this is what ends it. The document write function over here writes some text directly to the HTML document. So if we come in here and say hello world, it would actually type or display hello world directly on the site. The image tag over here tells the page that I want to display an image. And the source attribute tells the page what is the path to this image. In our example, we will be displaying an image that is accessible online. To do that, we specify the whole path to this image where it can be found online. This is the image, and that's the path to this image. When we do that, the page sends a GET request to this link in order to retrieve the image and display it on the HTML page. As an example, if we embed this whole JavaScript code into the About Me section for some profile, then what happens when you store it or save it is that what will be displayed instead of the code will be the image that we referenced in that source attribute. Now, let us use some malicious code and see what we can do. Let's take a look at this code here. We already know the script tags. We already know what document write does, but we will check what is that link over here and what does it do. So as we said before, the document write function just allows the script to write something on the HTML page. The image tag over here, as we said before, it allows the script to specify that I will write an image, I will display an image rather than write some text on the page. The source attribute specifies the path at which I should go and grab this image from. And remember, in our last example, we said if we have an address, if we're grabbing something from the internet, then this source attribute will allow this page to send a GET request to the server that it should retrieve the image from. Also notice here that we have split the command into multiple parts because you will see what does this part do later on. What happens here is that we include the IP address of the attacker. So this part over here is the IP address for the attacker machine. And this part here specifies an open port on that attacker machine. The question mark just says that there are some remaining part after the IP address and the port number. The remaining part is this part that says, I want to retrieve the document cookie. So in JavaScript, the document cookie reads the cookie value that corresponds to this page. And the escape function encodes this document value into a string such that it can be appended to this URL that we're using. So this here will be http://12.12.5.3 at port 5555 question mark, and then there will be a string that is the representation of that document cookie, and then we will close this image tag such that this will be the complete information for that image tag. So what happens when the attacker embeds that into their page and someone visits it? In fact, the page that has been visited by the victim will connect to the attacker's machine that has been listening on port 5555, and it will send a GET request that includes this value and this remaining information. This value here says that this part is the cookie name. This part here is actually a base 64 encoding for the equal sign, and this over here is the cookie value.